Welcome to Viral Frontier.
It really wasn't that long ago when just getting AI to answer like a simple question felt like straight up magic.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're practically ready to co-author, the next great American novel or something.
Right.
So welcome to the deep dive, everybody,
Yeah, welcome.
where we're going to explore kind of how artificial intelligence has just absolutely exploded over this past year.
It really has been a crazy year.
And to help me do that, I've brought on an expert to break it all down.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, one of the biggest things that's been happening has been all this buzz about these next generation large language models.
For sure.
We've got rumors flying around about GPT-5.
Oh, yeah, GPT-5.
Google's Gemini is supposed to have this absolutely massive 1.5 million token context window.
I mean, can you imagine?
It's like it can remember an entire library.
Yeah, it's like giving it a short-term memory that's, basically superhuman,
Right.
able to keep track of so much information. And then there's Claude 3, which is apparently making like huge leaps in its reasoning abilities.
Yeah, the reasoning stuff is really what has people talking.
So can you kind of break that down for me a little bit?
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? What does it mean for these models to be getting better at reasoning?
Well, it's like this, before they were really good at recognizing patterns,
Right.
like seeing a bunch of data and figuring out, okay, this usually comes after this.
Okay.
But now with the improved reasoning, it's more like they can actually take those patterns and actually solve problems with them,
Oh.
So it's not just pattern recognition, it's like actual problem solving.
So it's like instead of just being able to tell me like what comes next in a sequence,
Yeah.
they can actually be like, okay, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's how you actually solve that problem.
Exactly. And that's a big step,
Right. That's a big jump.
because it means we're moving away from AI just being a tool,
Yeah,
to AI actually being something more like a teammate,
that's really interesting.
able to actually contribute to solving complex problems.
And it's not just like chatbots getting smarter,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's so much bigger than that.
It seems like it's moving more towards what they're calling autonomous AI agents.
Right.
I was reading about AI that can actually write code for software development teams.
Oh, yeah. The AI coders?
Yeah, and there are systems now that can actually figure out how to like prompt themselves to solve problems.
Self-prompting AI. It's pretty wild.
That sounds like a big deal.
It is a big deal. I mean, think about it. AI that can figure out what questions to ask itself to get to the answer, that is a huge leap forward.
Yeah, it's not just waiting for us to tell it what to do anywhere.
Exactly. It's becoming more independent, and that's really exciting. From a technological standpoint, I mean, imagine the potential for increased efficiency in fields like software development or research.
Yeah, it could really change the game.
And then there's the rumors about this leaked model from Meta.
Oh yeah, what's that all about?
Well, supposedly it's even more powerful than their current best, which is Llama 3.
Really?
And we're already seeing Llama 3 do some pretty amazing things.
So this is like next level.
Yeah, next level. And it just goes to show you how incredibly fast this field is moving.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is.
It really is.
I mean, there was this article in MIT recently, and it had this line that really stuck with me.
What was that?
It said, "We're no longer training AI, we're breeding digital minds."
Ooh, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it's also kind of true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We're creating these complex systems, and they're developing capabilities that we didn't specifically program into them.
Yeah, it's like they're evolving on their own almost.
In a way, yeah. And that's where things start to get really interesting, but also a little unsettling,
Right. It's like that line between science fiction and reality is getting really blurry.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it brings us to the big question that everyone's asking.
Big one.
Artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
The singularity.
Yeah, AI that's as smart as a human across the board.
So how close are we really?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Jeffrey Hinton, who's like a giant in the field.
Right, one of the godfathers of AI.
Exactly. He's saying it could be as little as 5 years away, maybe even sooner.
5 years.
Yeah, and when Hinton talks, people listen.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
But there's also evidence, DeepMind has been reporting that their AI is actually reaching human-level reasoning on certain benchmark tests.
So like in specific tasks, it's already there.
Yeah, but it's important to remember that these are still very specific and limited tasks,
Okay, so it's not like it's going to take over the world tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, no.
Yeah.
But it is a sign that things are progressing rapidly.
I mean, it seems like just yesterday we were impressed with AI that could play chess.
Right. And now look at where we are.
So 5 years to AGI, that's a pretty bold prediction.
It is, but not everyone agrees.
Okay, so who's on the other side of that argument?
Well, Jan LeCun, who's another big name in AI, he's been pretty vocal about saying that current large language models, as impressive as they are with language, they're not really on a path to general intelligence.
So he doesn't think we're anywhere near AGI.
Not with the current approach, no.
So what's his reasoning there?
Well, he argues that these LLMs, they don't really understand the world the way humans do.
Okay.
They can manipulate language incredibly well, but they lack a lot of the things that make us intelligent. Like common sense reasoning, planning, the ability to understand cause and effect in the real world.
Right.
So he thinks we need a different approach entirely to really achieve AGI.
So it's not just about making these models bigger and giving them more data.
Exactly. It's about something more fundamental.
So we've got these rapid advancements.
Yeah, it's moving so fast.
We've got this debate about AGI.
Right. Are we close? Are we not?
And of course, with all of that comes a whole host of ethical questions.
Oh, absolutely.
The deepfakes thing has just exploded.
It's a real problem.
I mean, the thing with the AI-generated robocall, that sounded exactly like President Biden.
Oh, man, that was a wake-up call for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really showed how this technology can be misused.
Especially in the political arena.
Yeah. I mean, imagine what that could do to an election.
It's scary stuff, and it raises a lot of questions about trust and the integrity of information.
Yeah, how do we even know what's real anymore?
It's getting harder and harder.
And then you've got all these new technologies emerging on top of that.
It's like a tidal wave of innovation.
Quantum AI.
Yeah, Google's making some real progress there. They announced something called quantum supremacy 2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, and the idea that we could combine AI with quantum computing
Wow.
to potentially create like unbreakable encryption.
I mean, that would change everything.
It would revolutionize cybersecurity.
Yeah. But is that even possible?
Well, we don't have widely accessible quantum computers just yet, but the progress is significant.
So it's not science fiction anymore.
Not anymore.
And then there's Neuralink.
Ah, yes, Elon Musk's company.
Brain-computer interfaces merging our minds with machines.
That's the goal.
I mean, is that exciting or terrifying?
It's both.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential to enhance human abilities to treat neurological conditions, it's incredible.
Yeah, but also the idea of connecting our brains to computers, it's like straight out of a cyberpunk novel.
Yeah, and there are definitely risks, you know?
Right, like what if the AI takes over?
That's a concern that some people have. Elon Musk himself has been pretty vocal about the potential dangers of AI.
So he's working on this technology, but he's also warning us about it.
It's a bit of a paradox, but it shows how complex this issue is.
Yeah.
You've got people like Ray Kurzweil who are super optimistic about this kind of human-machine integration.
Singularity, right?
Yeah, he thinks it's our destiny to merge with technology.
And then you've got people like Musk who are saying, whoa, slow down, let's think about the consequences.
Exactly. It's a debate that's only going to get more intense as these technologies advance.
So I guess the big question is, are we creating a future of, like, incredible potential? Or are we setting the stage for our own decline?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, AI is clearly evolving at an unbelievable pace, and this is just the beginning.
We're just scratching the surface.
So as we kind of wrap things up here, what's like the one big takeaway that you want to leave people with?
I think the biggest thing is that we need to be having these conversations about the nature of intelligence, about the role of AI in our society, about the ethical implications of all this.
It's just not going away.
No, it's only going to become more important.
Oh, I think that's a good place to leave it for today.
Yeah, food for thought.
A lot to think about. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to all of our listeners out there, keep those digital minds thinking, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.